Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to our latest webcast that we're bringing you from Travel Weekly. And I love these. It's once again, I'm following these boys around Europe somewhere. This time you're on board another new MSC ship. I'm not going to steal your thunder. Tell us where you are and what ship you're on.
Well, right now we are in sunny Copenhagen. So the sun is out and it's just a perfect day for the arrival of MSC Arabia. So as you rightly said, the new sister of MSC Virtuosa, which is a rather popular ship in the UK, is finally joining our fleet, and she's looking stunning. And yeah, the buzz and the excitement is building. Tonight we will have the naming ceremony, and it will also be an opportunity to see our godmother again, Mrs. Sophia Loren.
Oh,
So yeah, there's a lot of excitement in the air. Things are really cool on board. So
good.
and it's a great day for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, I want to talk about Euribia because there's some new. I know she's a sister, but there's lots of new things about her. But
yeah.
before we do, Steve, tell us a little bit about. Oh, I didn't even introduce you, Steve Williams and Antonio Paradiso. I just assume everybody
I don't think
knows
we need
you.
any introduction.
You don't need introduction.
I was actually fine with the boys.
The
Yeah.
boys.
I love the boys. So,
Yeah. Well, I think people are used to. Last time we were, it was MSC Europa, and World Europa. You were taking us on a tour
Doha.
when you were in Doha. So I'm sorry, but for all those people who don't know, if you don't know these two, that'd be a miracle. But sorry, Steve, sales director. And Antonio just mentioned there's a real buzz on board, and that's because you've got lots of agents with you, isn't it?
Yes.
So tell us about that and why you've taken the trade out there.
Well, always, of course, we love the trade, and they always have to be at these events and see the latest innovations that, with every ship we tweak and reimagine, and we want them to come on the journey as we go for world domination and grow and expand. They very much have been on that journey with us over the years, and I think I counted 7 years I've been here. This is the 10th ship launch in 7 years, 3 in the last 6 months.
that's why you're looking younger.
So. I know. Not at all. Not at all. So yeah, obviously the trade, Lucy, they are absolutely business critical for us. So we like to always have our key agents and partners here. And this time is really nice. We put a lot of prize winners out as well. Many that haven't seen MSC, so it's first time seeing one of our ships.
Great.
And that's always a really good opportunity, because we ran a great incentive through January, February, win a cruise every day. From booking. So
if you make a booking, nothing comes for free.
Yeah.
So if you make a booking, but these guys made some great bookings, and this is their reward to come and experience, one of our amazing naming ceremonies, which are legendary. As will be the after party.
Yeah, and Steve and I were just talking actually because it's shoreside. But better weather than the last time we tried to launch a ship shoreside.
No, we're actually doing it on the ship for this one.
I see. So
this is going to be ship.
We've learned a lesson since Southampton. So
come on, it was still an amazing event, but it was just a little bit windy. That's all.
Memorable for many good reasons. But yeah, I think a naming ceremony in Northern Europe, even in June, we weren't prepared to take the chance again. So, although typically we have perfect sunshine, still conditions, so it would have been wonderful. But no, on the ship tonight.
It's great when everyone's on board. Now let's talk a little bit about the ship then, because there are some unique new elements to it. I mean, not least the outside, the hull, which is different to some of the rest of your fleet. So tell us about that.
Do you want to talk?
Okay.
Hull?
Yeah, so the hull was people will realize there's a new design. For the very first time, the hull is not the classic traditional MSC white, but they will see this beautiful marine theme on both sides of the ship, and with one very important message right in the middle of it, which is #SaveTheSea. Why is that? Because MSC Arabia, the ship we're on, has just completed today the world's first net zero voyage. So the whole trip was powered by liquefied natural gas. We talk about LNG a lot, but this was the first test, and we've just completed the first 7 nights cruise because the trip started in Saint-Nazaire, the shipyard of MSC
Yeah.
Arabia. So we've just finalized, the very first cruise in the world, which was 100%, powered by LNG, and so we're currently analyzing data and stats because
So
whatever we are learning.
it was a pilot to see
Yes, it's a
how
pilot.
much you can do that on.
Exactly, and how much we can push and what we can do. So because you never stop learning, it's a journey, as I always say.
So this ship won't always sail on LNG.
Not necessarily, because it's worth reminding. I know that people read about LNG, but LNG is not always commercially viable.
Yeah.
So,
or available.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying that you need to purchase it way in advance. And as I said, as you can imagine, also the cost attached to it is slightly different from.
But important that you're doing these tests to see what
Yes.
is possible as all cruise lines are trying to, reduce their carbon footprint, of course.
Correct. Also because, as we've already shared with our TV spot in the UK as well, we are doing our best to pursue the ultimate goal, which is the net zero emission scenario by 2050. And right now we're at 40% of that target. And the question is always, can we do better? Of course we can. And we are already working on, for the future, because we're already studying and analyzing and developing other forms of fuels which don't necessarily come from fossils. So we are working on the hydrogen option. We're focusing on the batteries. So there's many options that will be available in the future, because right now LNG is probably the best thing available, but maybe 5 years down the line. Exactly. But at the same time, people just focus on one component of the sustainability piece. So the fuel is just one aspect, but then there's the rest of the ship.
Oh, you've done more in this ship with waste management, haven't you? And
you turn the shower on, the water's heated, from the engines.
The smart lifts, so where you pre-select the lift, and when you're not using that, the panel goes off automatically. So as I said, a smarter way on, and we are utilizing energy and electricity in a much smarter way.
Brilliant. And it is something that we need to be aware of, and that agents, I'm sure you've been telling them as well, because they've got to now include it in their conversation. So brilliant stuff, guys. That's great. Let's talk about some of the other stuff that's perhaps more obvious.
Yes.
Like this massive water park that I've seen.
Yes.
I mean,
okay, this is Steve then.
Yes.
Steve's area.
We've got all the incredible features. The children's club's been elevated even further. The water park, we've just been down there actually with some of my team. Quite a funny experience, and they're two of my team are walking around videoing, getting footage for the agents when we get back, and they're actually stood under the water park, unbeknown, with one of the giant buckets of water above tipped down on them as they're videoing the water park. Alicia and Danielle, drenched, fully clothed, head to toe.
Feels to me like you might have known something about that, one of you.
Interactive water park. Ensure you're in appropriate clothing. Yes, to the water park. But for me, the standout on this ship, so I'm sure most agents in the UK know this class of ship now. I'm sure everyone's seen Virtuosa, but the standout feature for me is the reimagined carousel lounge. So the lounge at the back of the ship, which traditionally has been used for a show in the evening throughout the duration of the cruise, and the space during the day is not really utilized. So on World Europa, we reimagined that lounge, and it's become a lounge really available 24/7. The theatre style seating's gone, and it's all casual seating. There's pool tables in there. There's a bar. There's small eats you can get in there. So it's somewhere really nice to go and sit in the day, relax. The view is of the back of the ship out the ocean.
Oh, lovely.
But at night time?
At night time, it's the place to be at night. So we are one of only, I think it's 4 places in the world we've invested heavily in the big band production. So we've got a 19-piece big band production in there, which is utterly incredible. So I think it's Vegas, Remo, somewhere else, and now on MSC Euribia. And
Amazing.
it has been the absolute hit of the ship, hasn't
Yes,
it?
especially the agents. I think they spend 50% of their time in that lounge.
Absolutely.
Well, I
And,
hear there
there'll
was
be
I hear there was quite a
entertainment
party last night.
on.
Actually.
Yes.
I went to bed early. I'm not sure, but I heard great things.
Yeah, so it was a good party. There was a good
That's
party.
great. I didn't know about that, so it'd be good to
that
get
is
some footage of that.
fabulous. Some of the restaurants we've changed. We've got a new restaurant, the Grill, which is on the Euribia Galleria, which is a new French bistro offering steaks, seafood platters, caviar.
Right.
So that's lovely. We've got the new sushi grill,
Correct.
which is added to the teppanyaki and the traditional sushi counter, which is
Teppanyaki is my favorite. I'm so glad you kept that.
Oh, we had a good night in there the other
Good
evening,
night,
didn't
really
we?
good night.
Really good.
The agents really enjoyed that teppanyaki night.
Oh, good. Okay,
and-
so and do you think, because she's a sister ship to Virtuoso, I mean, she's not going to be, I know she's doing some sailings from the UK, but she's not going to be, like
Lucy, we
Virtuoso,
have her
is
all
she?
winter. We have her from
We have
October
her
to
from
next
October to
April.
March.
March,
End
yeah.
March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think she'll take to the hearts of all the UK agents like
Absolutely.
Virtuoso has?
Yeah.
I definitely think so. Also because it's good for customers and agents at the same time, to enjoy both ships, Virtuoso and Euribia. Because of course, with every new ship, it's just the evolution of the former from the former ship that belongs to this specific class. I think with Euribia, of course, you have the opportunity to further enhance certain aspects that we have seen on board of Virtuoso. So, for example, the carousel lounge that Steve was mentioning was a key learning from us. How can we use that space, that venue, in a, how should I say, in a multi-purpose way? So, and the impressions and the feedback we've been collecting from agents has been spectacular. So that's
And
definitely the way forward.
But you made real tweaks to Virtuoso, didn't you, to really tailor her to
Yes.
your UK market? Is that
Yes.
are you doing the same with Euribia?
So in winter season, yes. So there will
Yeah.
always be some, how should I call them, British,
our little British flavours.
British
that we add
flavours,
for
yes.
Our guests that we, in terms of entertainment,
Yeah.
because
Food.
Food, yeah, little, really.
It's that 20% kind of tweaks around the edges, just to give the Brits and
bit
the
more
Irish their
flavour.
home comforts,
Exactly.
whilst staying core to what MSC is.
Okay,
So yeah,
good.
Euribia will follow that path, and I think she's going to be really popular. I think it will. We've got some guests that have they've fallen in love with Virtuoso, and you always have that, the Virtuoso effect. But I think Euribia will just offer them everything they know and love, just with some new tweaks.
Huge tweaks.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. And let's talk about sales then. I mean, we're saying we hope customers will like it, but how have agents been doing getting behind selling her? And of course, let's talk about just generally, trading in general.
I'm going to do the general and then we'll talk about Euribia.
Yeah.
As you wish. Well, we all know that 2022 was a record-breaking year for MSC, and what can I say? This year we are 50% up versus 2022. So if that was a record-breaking year, I don't know how to call this one. And so it's very encouraging, Lucy, because we were all asking ourselves some questions during the pandemic. So what is going to happen, once we're out of the tunnel? So what I'm seeing, not only in the UK, so I'm talking about from a global perspective, is that the appetite for cruise has never been stronger. And I'm saying because it's not just the UK, we are registering this in more than 30 countries around the world. So the US, the UK, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, all the major cruise markets are getting bigger and bigger. And I know this might sound ironic because MSC is always building new ships, right? There's always new ships joining our fleet. I genuinely believe there aren't enough ships to keep up with that demand across the globe.
And of course,
for MSC, I'm talking about MSC here. So our
Yeah.
distribution model is slightly different from other brands, but I'm happy to report that these encouraging signs are not only coming from the UK, it's kind of a global phenomena that we're
So
seeing.
are you making more orders then if there's not enough? And what
Listen,
do you want to make an announcement right here?
My big boss, Mr. Francesco Vagos, he's been poking a lot in the last couple of days. So when he starts poking, there's always something cooking there. So we are taking note of how strong the demand is.
Yeah, because there's a bit of a gap now for you between this one. I know you said you've had
the first time that we have to wait 18 months for a ship has never
right.
happened.
Well, yeah, it never hasn't happened for a while.
But say that in the meantime, we have Explorer as well.
So,
oh yeah,
we have some other ships coming.
All right, well, we'll talk. I want to talk about Explorer as you will understand in a second. But let's just stick with MSC. So 50% up is remarkable. Do you mean in terms of passenger numbers or revenues, or what do you mean? How?
Okay, passenger numbers is definitely the 50%. Revenue probably is about 42%. Of course, more passengers, more money, right? More revenues.
And how are prices holding up, Antonio? Because we did have issues coming out of the pandemic that understandably, people were having to have some pretty keen prices to encourage people back to the seas for a while. What's happening this year?
So basically, we've had a really strong Q1, also in terms of pricing. After Easter, probably for a few weeks, the market's kind of slowed down a little bit, generally speaking. I'm not just talking about
Easter.
Probably it's the Easter time between Easter and the bank holidays as well. So you may have seen the odd sailing here and there at a more appealing price. But all in all, if I look at the price, if I do a quick comparison versus 22, we have significantly increased our prices. And then one thing that I always invite everyone is to check and differentiate the prices according to the destination, because the ex-UK piece is completely different from the flying cruise business. We are talking about two different customers. So if you check, for example, MSC in the Med, you'll be scared with the prices you're going to see, because you may say, gosh, that's quite expensive. That's because
but in ex-UK, is it just because there's such competition?
Ex-UK is a little bit more competitive. Yes, it's more competitive than other destinations, but I genuinely believe it's something that is worth doing, because the growth you're seeing with MSC is also fueled by the ex-UK piece.
And they try you ex-UK. I mean, of course, the Seacations that you kicked off back in 21 must have made a big difference, because people tried cruising who'd never even thought of it before.
Yeah.
So I guess still having an ex-UK product, albeit not quite as the prices perhaps that everybody would want, you're saying that's important to then give them a taste of what else they could then go on to do.
Indeed.
And the ex-UK piece, Lucy, for us is Virtuosa is the one ship that's different within the fleet, because of course down in the Med you have Italy, Spain, France, and with MSC you can embark in any port.
Cosmopolitan,
Virtuosa, you embark in Southampton. We do not pick up in other ports, other countries. So it is our responsibility to fill it.
100% of the capacity.
That is our ship, and it's the only ship within our fleet that is sourced by one market and filled by one market.
Right. Okay. So you might have to play around with those. You sometimes might have to drop those prices, because you've got to get. Yeah. You've only got one market to source from.
Absolutely, and of course we're a family brand, so these ships carry 6,000 plus passengers. When you put your third, fourth berths in, of course, school holidays. You're looking, you've got the families, the half terms, and what have you. But then, within that, June, and of course the itineraries mirror that. We're going up to the fjords and places where couples maybe want to do something, but that's when your capacity, you're not going to be filling it with families, because it's school time. And, we all know that you all get fines and what have you, you take your kids out of school.
Having said that, again, is the best season we've ever had from the UK in terms of sailings from Southampton. So,
and I think we've seen a big shift from 22 to 23, where we've moved the forward booking pattern is greater. And what we want to work really hard now, because of course, yes, you want some leg capacity, but you don't want huge leg capacity at all. So, we're working really hard this year to get good build for winter 23-24, and of course, summer 24, and shortly winter 24-25.
And shortly again, summer
summer
25,
which will be
will you be putting those on sale earlier than you might
Yeah.
So
normally?
in the next 3 to 4 weeks,
Absolutely.
Lucy, we are committing to launch also the summer 25
Right.
itineraries and prices.
Really?
Yes.
How
Yeah,
much
which
earlier
we've
is that? That's
we've
much
never
earlier
done that
than-
before.
No.
So we need to be out there at least 2 years in advance to make sure that we give the opportunity, because there's different customers out there. There's customers who like to book way ahead,
Yeah.
because they are loyal to the brand.
Yeah.
But that's interesting though, wasn't it? Because obviously for a while people would it was so short term, wasn't it? But
Yes.
it's great that you're getting people
Yeah.
now planning ahead.
Yeah, and we see the opportunity, so we want to seize that opportunity and continue to build on our success.
And a message then to agents, if you probably best to try and get those bookings in early, because then would you get the best price at that point?
Yeah, and when it comes to MSC, the statement you just made, there couldn't be more honest feedback, because with MSC the competition is not the other cruise lines. At MSC the competition is internally, so it's the UK
Our other markets.
and other markets. So we never see the others as a competition. They're not competition to MSC. For me, the competition is the other markets, the other countries.
You've just got to do better than
we're going to do better than them. And as I said, the timing is key. So especially for a UK market where the early booking phenomenon has always been strong.
Yeah.
So it's always been part of the British, behavior. And it also gives us the opportunity to steal more space, more cabins from all the other countries.
Yes,
And then
of course. And presumably, sorry, just before that,
Oui.
Antonio, what else does that allow you, if you can show a stronger forward booking profile? Can you then go to Mr. Vargo or whoever it is, that however you go and make, to make your sort of request or claim for
Correct.
more capacity in the UK, more new tonnage?
That's exactly how we do it. Because
providing we fill the capacity, we
Yes.
get the rate that we need to get, and that's why the trade are critical to understand and sell our product in the best possible way to drive the rate that these beautiful ships should demand, because that allows us to go and negotiate when we do our budget process to get what we want and keep bringing in amazing hardware into Southampton.
All right, good. I had to ask the question about pricing, because I know some people, suggesting that it can be a bit low. So great that you're getting these.
Yeah, we've seen some.
And I think one other thing in terms of capacity and selling, we will be investing much heavier into committed air for summer 24. So we feel next year is the year to come back. If we went back to 2019, we were very strong in terms of Med and Caribbean and Dubai, Fly Cruise, but through the pandemic and air and be it strikes and
it was
all
still
of
disruption,
that,
wasn't there?
very, very much focused.
So
on
even this year, you haven't done as much commitment.
We've done some, but
not as much as you.
But next year is our year to come back strong.
And what does that mean, Steve? That once you've done committed air, you can be guaranteed on a price.
Yeah,
without it
absolutely.
moving around so much.
We go to the airlines, negotiate, buy the seats, so we will have more regional air available to more airports, be it Caribbean, Mediterranean, the Arabian Gulf, Red Sea, so all of that. So
the agents to agents' ears, particularly in the region.
Yes.
Because that's been a real missing
point
for some agents, hasn't it?
Long story short, is always about providing people with more choice, with more options, and that's exactly what we try to deliver year in, year out. So that's what we're doing.
I'm conscious I know you've only got 10 minutes, and I've probably taken that up already, but you're not going, because I've got to still ask you. Just before we move on to Europa, which we must do, but Steve, just talk to us about the agents that you're working with, because obviously you've got these long-standing partners that, you said yourself, you love to bring your top partners or, on these launches, but with more capacity coming, are you able to find new agents? Have you been starting to work with different agents? Are you getting to new customers? This whole new to cruise piece, are you achieving that?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And this ship and the agents we have on it is the perfect example. So I rely very much on my team, and every week we challenge our team to go out and speak to each of my account managers to speak to a new agent. So each of them do that. And on here, we have a number of agents that I hadn't heard of, if I'm honest. Because, you know, there are so many agents popping up. So, you know, I'm going through the list and I'm like, right, okay, Alicia,
and what kind of agents are there? Are these retail high street agents? Are they home
a lot
workers?
of retail high street, which is
who've been around for a while but just not sold cruise, or they've sold cruise but they've not sold MSC, or what?
Possibly. And I think there's a mix of all of that. I think more and more agents are seeing the value of cruise. I think it's becoming easier to sell. It's less of a scary product. I think it is more of a mainstream product now than it ever has been. You know, I've been at this gaming cruise a long time, and it does feel like we are becoming a mainstream holiday. You know, not a niche product that people are slightly frightened to sell. And of course, we keep giving the tools to educate and train, be it through masters and webinars.
And, well, you had a load of agents on board on the day before the Clear conference, and I think
many of them were new.
I was going to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of them had never been on. Some of them never been on a ship before, had they?
Well, I've got people on here this time have never been on a ship. So you know, that's music to our ears. This, of course, we love looking after the people that have, you know, got us to where we are. But equally, as we grow, you know, distribution and new distribution is absolutely critical. And I mean, homeworking is just booming. You know, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's just growing at such a fast
harder
rate.
to get them to come out, though. To come on a ship visit, or harder for you to get to them to train them. So that's much. Is that going to mean you'll have to slightly change the way you and your team work?
Can I just say something? Because I've already said something similar in another Travel Weekly interview.
So say it again.
No. If they can't come to us, we need to go to them.
Absolutely.
So this is also, we need to rely both on our people and technology at the same time with webinars and.
But it's really interesting. So I was chatting to our German counterparts last night who have trialed a new initiative, so I'm going to pick up with them because I'm quite intrigued about. I asked them, how are they managing? Do they have home workers? And I will share with you at a later date, but I'm quite intrigued by what they're doing, and I think it would be new for the UK industry. So I need to go and dig and delve deeper before, and then we can share.
All right.
It sounds quite exciting what they're doing. So I will come back to you on that one.
Okay. Just because I'm also half Italian, I'm traditional and superstitious. With you, it's becoming kind of a tradition to do a live from a new ship, right?
Yeah.
But there's usually a third guest that appears at some point.
Oh no.
And,
here we go.
I was just.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Lucy.
Hi, Gianni. How are you?
You didn't invite me, so I invited myself.
Well, that happened before. Remember? You seem to make these cameo appearances. So how are you? Well, congratulations on your next ship.
Thank you very much. I invite everybody to come and see this beautiful ship. One more baby in the fleet.
Didn't invite me.
I did. The ship will be soon in Southampton. So
I'll come then.
This will be the chance for everybody to come and see it. It's lovely. Everybody loves it.
I've got a reporter out there with you, and he's been very impressed, and we've seen lots on social media. You've done a very good job on that. So congratulations. When are you ordering any more ships, Gianni?
Actually, very soon.
Yeah, I think you need to, because you've got to wait 18 months now. This is not like MSC at all.
I can't wait.
You can't wait. You need to get a few more on the order books.
Sometimes old people needed to take a breath, and that's what I'm doing. But it will not last too long. I promise.
Will you let us know first?
Yes.
I knew that was coming.
So, just to say hello to everyone, to you, Lucy,
and all the UK agents.
And say a big hi to the UK agents.
Hi, hello everyone. Hello everyone. Come and see us. Let's have some fun, some good food, and some good drinks.
Perfect. I think you're going to get a lot of people taking you up on that.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Johnny. Bye-bye.
I told you, it's becoming a nice
Tradition.
tradition.
I think I would be disappointed if it didn't happen anymore. That would be
I know.
Now he's gone. Should we talk about your new gig, Antonio? You've got this. So this was announced this week. This was a bit of a so yes, MSC you still love and you keep hold of, but you are expanding
He absolutely does.
Yes. So you're not leaving Steve, you're just expanding your remit. You've got to share this love around. So tell us about your new role.
So thanks for the opportunity, to also explain this a little bit, because sometimes the press release cannot include, for obvious reasons, all the aspects of such an operation. So, as you rightly said, I'm the managing director of MSC Cruises and have an amazing team and an amazing organization in the UK. But at the same time, I will also be the managing director of Explorer. But allow me to explain this. We are not mixing the two organizations. So there are two different brands. Yes, they're part of the MSC family, but they have a completely different proposition. And because we're always busy at MSC, generally speaking, across the group, it's important that we have two distinctive and separated organizations supporting, each brand. I'm saying this because maybe some agents were thinking that we were going to change, the sales managers or, the contacts within the business. No, it's just two different organizations under the same head. In my case.
Okay,
myself.
so you're so it's a reassurance to the trade that there's two distinct teams for sales, marketing, I guess, call center. So that's all about
PR. No, you rightly said also contact center.
So there will be no change for current agents that are working with MSC or working with Explorer.
Correct.
How much crossover is there, though? Are there some agents that would be working with you both? Because you obviously have got the yacht club.
Yacht club, correct. You just nailed it. Nailed it. So that's exactly the point. So there are agents who already successfully sell yacht club, who are already working with Explorer, but then at the same time, there's also agents who haven't necessarily, focused on luxury before, who are ready to embrace that as well, So there will be some, cross activity, but the whole purpose of this exercise is basically to utilize the synergy, between the two brands. MSC is already a very well-established brand in the UK. Explorer journeys, this is phase one, it's the startup phase. So I just want to make sure that I'm in a position to fully support the new brand of MSC.
Sorry, Antonio, to be specific, but given that we've identified all the things that are staying separate and distinct to the two brands, what are the synergies that you're going to get then? So what?
Me.
So does that mean? So what's happened to Chris Austin then, who was overseeing the sales for the UK?
But Chris Austin is in charge of the US, and he's doing an amazing job, and he will continue, to follow the US. It's just that you may appreciate that the MSC Group has always had a different distribution model. We are strong in Europe, so this whole process doesn't have to start from North America and then being expanded to Europe. With MSC, it's actually the opposite most of the time. So we already have a strong distribution network across Europe for MSC Cruises. We want to leverage on that in order also to favor our sister brand, Explorer Journeys.
Yeah.
So that's the synergy. Use the know-how, the connections, also the legacy of MSC to a certain extent, in order to, give to Explorer Journeys that extra boost, that extra kick that it needs, during phase one.
Well,
and I'm excited.
You called it a startup. Sorry, Antonio, I didn't mean to cut
Please.
you. You just mentioned there it's a bit of a startup. The ship is, the first ship doesn't arrive till next month, but literally weeks away. What will you ramp up operations
Exactly
under your steerage? Will you now then, because there's not a big team in the UK, but presumably you want to do more from this market?
Yes, we want to do more, and the intention is to further expand, of course, the Explorer team. I already have an excellent and amazing sales team But there's some other bits that I believe we need to add in order to have the right organization in place. As you rightly said, it's a startup. Why? Because we haven't even seen the first Explorer ship yet. And yes, Explorer One will be joining us in about 4 weeks from now, 4 or 5 weeks from now. So once the ship is there, the whole operation is going to change, because the second customers will step on board the Explorer, I think for many of them is going to be a game changer, because this is a different type of luxury that we're trying to provide to the customers out there. And yes, the only way I see the organization is expanding, is growing in time.
But not in sales, because you just said you've got a good sales team, or will you add to the sales team, or is it
potentially even
functions?
sales if necessary, Lucy, because I'm not sure everybody knows, but we have 6 Explorer ships on order. Yeah. So it goes without saying. It goes without saying.
They're much smaller than the ones you're used to, though, aren't they?
They're much smaller, but also, luxury requires a certain amount of skills and dedication as well at the same time. You may appreciate that the prices will be slightly different, from the contemporary segments. So it goes without saying, with that hardware, with all the hardware on order, that in time you will need to expand further. Also because, as you know, the whole MSC group, I'm even including shipping in this group, we've always been trade oriented. This has always been our probably biggest strength. Look at the shipping company. We are the biggest shipping company in the world. And when we first started in the 70s, we were nobody. How do we grow so rapidly? How do we expand so rapidly? Thanks to the connections we have in each and every country, thanks to the support of the trade community. And this is exactly the same plan we're adopting at Explorer.
Okay.
So as part
but
of the
it's a very
journey,
different language, isn't it? They're very different. Steve and I were just chatting about this.
It's got a different glossary, different vocabulary as well. So I will try and be a little bit more refined as well when we will do a proper explore. When we will do a proper Explorer session.
We have to wear a tie when we do interviews on
not necessarily, because I have a different concept of luxury. Luxury is also, time and looking after yourself. And sometimes I prefer, it's a state of mind. I prefer to stay without tie, if I'm honest. So
he's changed, Lucy. He's changed.
But yes, so it's a tremendous opportunity, and I definitely invite the whole trader community, to support Explorer journeys, because the second that ship, will be part of the Explorer world, I'm sure that many agents will be approaching us, proactively.
There's probably lots of people out there who might have customers that would be perfect.
Exactly.
For that,
so that's why I said there's like 2 phases. Right now we have the pioneers, what I call the pioneers. So the travel agents who have already sold the Explorer without even seeing it.
Yeah.
And then there's the phase 2, the ones that once they've experienced it and they fall in love with what they've seen, they will be proactively, promoting Explorer journeys across the UK.
So you've got a big plan to try and get lots of agents to see Explorer. That'd be harder than,
it's
you could get
harder
hundreds on, can't you? And
Steve
does his trade events, he's got hundreds on, but it's going to be a very different situation.
Yes, but the advantage I have, Lucy, is that Explorer will start the very first cruise from Southampton. So what a coincidence! It's always Southampton. So that's an amazing opportunity already, because the UK will play a major role within those 2 days that Explorer is staying in Southampton for 2 days. So we will have the opportunity to invite some of the top partners, some celebrities as well. Of course, as you rightly said, I can no longer focus on the thousands or the hundreds. We need to make sure that is the right number.
But also Explorer One's in the UK many times through the season.
Yeah.
Around the UK.
Okay, so lots of time. Well, invite me and I'll do a nice little video. We'll do another video on board.
I think he was classing you in the celebrities coming on board.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Good recovery there, Steve. All right, look, you've given me much more time than you said you had available, so I'm sorry. I hope I've not made you late or anything.
No need to apologize. It's always a pleasure, Lucy.
Well, we wish you all the best for this evening. I'm looking forward to. I'll be eyes peeled on social media.
We'll miss you.
Oh, well, you always put on a great show. So good luck with that. Good luck with all your sales in the UK. Antonio, good luck with it, Explorer. And
Thank you.
We'll see you very soon. Thank you very
Thanks,
much, boys.
Lucy.
Yes, and let's catch up soon, yeah?
Yeah, we will. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Lucy.
Bye.